offensive skill set, and she can play 1 through 5.
And if we look at Maryland's lineup, our Toyota lineup, how about Tiana Hawkins? She's the leading scorer in the ACC, along with Havlik, Rutan, and Devon. Now, the Deacons starting lineup that played so well last night. Chelsea Douglas is their point guard. Lakivia Boykin with 21 points. There's Williams. De'Erica Hamby played well. And how about the double-double from Sandra Garcia last night?
You called it, Mike. You knew she was going to have a good game. And when we've watched Garcia's game and her skill set for 4 years, she's a terrific screener as well.
Before we tip it, let's get a word from Christy Winter-Scott.
Well, last night, against a feisty Georgia Tech team, Wake Forest, who averages 19 turnovers on the season, only had 13. In an earlier regular season game against Maryland, Wake Forest Chelsea Douglas had 8 turnovers alone. Tonight, Wake Forest can ill afford to turn the ball over. They need to value and maximize every single possession.
Debbie, I got to ask you, on Sunday, this was a 27-point Maryland win. What's going to be the difference tonight?
Well, it's exactly what Christy talked about, taking care of the basketball, trying to keep Maryland in front, make them execute in the quarter court. Do not let them get in their transition game.
There's Thomas taking it strong to the bucket. And she's fouled by Boykin. That'll be the first foul on Boykin. And Alyssa Thomas, who's a good free throw shooter at 76%. ACC Player of the Year, back-to-back.
The one piece of her game that she doesn't have consistently is shooting outside the three-point line. But quite frankly, Mike, she hasn't needed it because no one's been able to guard her. I mean, she is so strong and powerful. She's got a big frame, and she works on her offensive game. And then she brings it here and shows it off.
17 double-doubles on the year for Thomas. Wake's first possession. This is Boykin, who was so good last night against Georgia Tech. Doesn't get the roll, and there's Devon with the rebound, and she's fouled.
It's always a challenge against the second-best rebounding team in the nation to stay on the glass. It will be a challenge for Wake Forest. You're going to have to make sure you check out. Put a body on somebody.
Alicia Devon, 6'4", junior out of West Palm Beach, Florida. This had a very good season for Maryland.
See Hawkins in the pinch post. Oh, this is so dangerous. See, that pinch post is that elbow area where Hawkins can swipe it through and score. She can shoot it with range. She's a good passer from up there.
Hawkins and Thomas have been at the top of the league in scoring and rebounding all year long.
They just traded places.
Yeah. Here's Williams in the paint. Nice pass to Garcia. Got it blocked. That's Hawkins with the block shot.
I like Williams' frame of mind in the Alyssa Thomas matchup. You got to attack her. And there's a miscommunication by Wake.
And the freshman knocks it down.
Now, Mike, the backcourt for Wake Forest, many people might not be familiar with them. Chelsea Douglas and Lakivia Boykin are one of the top combinations in the ACC. They're good off the bounce. They can score. And look at that toughness right there. Douglas will be the smallest player most nights on the floor, but very capable of finding a way to play under and through the defense. This is a chance to go over the top. She's got the Katie Rutan matchup. Brenda Freese says Rutan's her best perimeter defender.
First foul on Rutan, and Chelsea Douglas, who did not have a great night shooting last night against Georgia Tech, misses the free throw. She was 3 for 10 from behind the arc, did have 15 points.
Did that ball go through her legs?
I believe it did.
Way to be aggressive. Jump stop. Jump stop.
I think it did. You got to scoop it up now. That's an E6 right there.
Here's De'Erica Hamby, number 25. She had a good game last night. Garcia, and again it's blocked by Tiana Hawkins. Hamby knocks it out of bounds, but boy, Hawkins playing some defense against Garcia.
All right, Tiana Hawkins was the 133rd rated recruit coming out of high school. Wasn't highly recruited, but Brenda Freese saw something in her. She's transformed her body, and every year she's added to her game. She's gonna be a big draft pick in the WNBA.
Brenda Freese says she's the most improved player she's ever coached. That's saying something.
And you know what? Devon's going to be the next most improved player by the time she's a senior.
Asia Williams, and nothing coming easy for Wake Forest. Here's Thomas. Nice feed, Rutan. Picked off by Boykin. Ahead to Williams. Good job just catching the ball. First bucket for Williams.
Great finish with her left. Maryland has numbers on the other end. They turn it over. Look how quickly Wake Forest scores.
Williams 7 for 10 last night in that 86-67 win over Georgia Tech. There's another turnover, and it's going to be an easy one for Douglas.
Okay, Boykin and Douglas are standing there at midcourt. They're saying, I'm going to trap you. Look at their body language. Pavlik knows it's coming. You can't come across midcourt and pick it up. You got to invite that trap, reverse the ball.
Here's Pavlik's already hit one. This for three, short. Or maybe that was a pass to Tiana Hawkins.
You see right away Brenda Fries makes the adjustment. Instead of letting Pavlik bring it across midcourt, she gives it to Thomas. She's harder to trap. Douglas is 5'5", and Boykin is maybe 5'9". Thomas is 6'1".
Here's Hamby. Maryland chases down the loose ball. This will be Pavlik. Brenda Fries never imagined that when they got to the ACC tournament that Pavlik, the freshman, would be the starting point guard.
Or Rutan. She was supposed to be a specialty player off the bench.
Early injuries to Lauren Mincy, Renee Mosley.
Pavlik better tighten up her handle.
Shot clock's at 3. Here come the Deeks and Boykin.
Well, they're really looking to run. I love that they're pushing on every opportunity. You try to push not just to get a layup or secondary break, but to create a mismatch.
Garcia trying to get it to Hamby, knocked out of bounds. It'll be Wake Forest ball. Listen to Debbie Antonelli, break it down, and then you try it. It's not easy to do. You come to appreciate Antonelli and what she does. You didn't know you were over there,
no,
did you?
I didn't know that.
Chelsea Douglas, she's got 6 points, and we're tied at 8. Yep, it's impressive.
I'll have to check it out.
Here's Rutan, good three-point shooter.
And Wake Forest definitely trying to pick up the tempo with their defense, and they have looked to run.
Rutan open.
Nice by Pavlik. The extra pass to a better three-point shooter.
First three of the game for either team. Rutan, 38% from behind the arc, and he's taken the most threes of anybody on Maryland's team. Hamby.
Good defense by Maryland. See, what Wake Forest is going to have to do is they want to be frenetic defensively. They're looking to trap opportunities for steals, but when they come down the offensive end, you got to make sure you play a little more poise, and this is an experienced Wake Forest team.
A lot of seniors on the court. They come up with steal. Here's one of those seniors, Boykin.
And she will not be denied, she and Douglas. I mean, this is a terrific backcourt. Jump shooting, playmaking, high IQ.
It's a senior backcourt, Douglas and Boykin. Williams, Garcia are also seniors out on the court right now. Good pass. 2 tries at it, and Hawkins couldn't get it to go down. Boykin, that's tough.
Yeah, in traffic, there wasn't anything there. That's what I mean. Make a better choice at a high rate of speed.
Not that time for Rutan. Devon the rebound. Here's Alyssa Thomas. She has 2 free throws, no field goals so far. Oh, what a pass.
That's a nice play because she's got Douglas on her. She calls for the on ball. She gets to the second level defensively, makes a play.
Debbie, we talk so much about Thomas. She's number 2 in the league in assists, besides all those other numbers.
She plays the point, the 2, all the way through to the center. She can guard every position on the floor. There's not anybody else in the ACC that you can say that about.
Boykin can't hit the 3, and here come the Terps again. Pavlik doesn't get the roll. It'll belong to Wake Forest.
Watch Alyssa Thomas playing in the on ball. She gets to the second level, causes the switch, draws help. So she attacks her defender, her primary defender, She gets to the switch. Then she draws the help. Those are 3 reads that she made on one play, Mike. Special.
She is special. And in that 88-61 win over these Deacs on Sunday, she had 7 assists in that game. Averages over 5 assists a game on the year.
Brenda Free's giving Sequoia Austin her walk on some early minutes. Knowing that the pace of the game so far, I think that's a good move to get Austin a little time, Mike. Give her a chance to get a little sweat.
Sequoia Austin, 5'5" junior from Greenbelt, Maryland, just outside of College Park. Debbie said a walk-on who's earned a scholarship. Pavlik. That's a 3 from Chloe Pavlik, the freshman guard.
Good job by Douglas. Attack the hedge. Every guard coming off that on ball needs to attack the bigger player. Smart.
Fouls on Melina Howard on the All-ACC freshman team. 6'4" post player. He was rated the top-ranked post player in the country a year ago in high school. Douglas. Oh, what a rebound by Asia Williams to put it back.
Asia Williams is always available because she works so hard. Always around the rim. Remember yesterday I compared her to Alyssa Thomas and Chelsea Gray from Duke in 2 ways.
Wide open, Pavlik again. Second 3. She doesn't hit a lot of 3s on the year.
She's open. Let me go back to that point about Asia Williams, Mike. Because she averages nearly 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. There's only 2 other players that do that in the ACC. You're talking about Alyssa Thomas and Chelsea Gray from Duke. You're saying something. That's the category she's in.
Yeah, that's high company right there. This is Thomas who came down with it, and another great pass. Wake's going to call a timeout. It's not Thomas's scoring. It's her passing.
The season, and to add depth. It's important. You got to have it.
Yeah, they've had another one. Kearney Furman, their freshman. She dislocated a knee, missed some time, and has had an illness that kept her out of the Wake game on Sunday. And that's the lady who's missed. Here's Boykin. Oh, nice little step back from Boykin.
I love her game. And she is a senior for Wake Forest, and she's one of those players that I am really going to miss because she brings the effort every night.
Inside Howard, over Walker.
Great seal inside by Howard.
He's coming off a 13-point performance.
This is where Williams has got to make Thomas play some defense.
Chelsea Douglas, that's a big bucket for the Deacs.
I asked Chelsea Douglas before the game, what are you bringing tonight? She said, I'm bringing what you always say I bring, swagger. I said, you got some, girl.
So far, she's brought 9 points to the Deacs. Thomas, still without a field goal. And here comes Douglas. Awfully quick. And one, Chelsea Douglas. Yeah, Debbie, you're right. She brought some swagger tonight.
Yeah, we see you, Chelsea Douglas. What a great move. This is the kind of move that you work on when no one else is in the gym watching, dropping down triples. And then the drive, Mike, the little step back, crossover, get to the rim and go to the free throw line when we come back.
Welcome to Ruby Tuesday, where we're cooking up over 15 chef-inspired selections for under $15, starting at just $9.99, creating something new for everyone. Delicious food at mouth-watering prices. And each comes with your choice of over a dozen fresh sides, including our Create-Your-Own Garden Bar. They're dishes you won't find anywhere else, cooked just the way you want with our special toppings and unique sauces. Over 15 delicious meals, under $15, starting at $9.99. That's right. Welcome to Ruby Tuesday.
Is saving money better than not saving money?
Yeah!
Okay, if you save enough money, what would you do with it?
I would buy an island made out of candy.
An island made out of candy?
It would be like sand full of sugar.
Sand full of sugar?
The water can be made out of like soda. When you take a shower, it can be made out of like hot fudge.
Ooh.
What about the animals? What would they be made out of?
I'm assuming they'd be made out of candy.
It's not complicated. Saving is better. Switch to AT&T, and your family can save up to $100 a month with Mobile Share.
Welcome to Toyota. I'm Jan. How can I help?
Hi, Jan. Listen, my buddies bet me that I wouldn't get a great deal on one of your dependable Tundras today.
Oh, don't you guys know? It's our #1 for everyone sales event.
Wow, looks like you guys lost again.
Right now, get a low 0% APR for 60 months on the new 2013 Toyota Tundra. That's 0% APR on a new Toyota Tundra.
It's not that bad. It's not.
Toyota, let's go places.
Chelsea Douglas already in double figures for Wake Forest. They've cut that lead down to 4. Let's take a look at our Wake Forest snapshot. They won 5 games in the league this year. Jen Hoover, an alum, a legend this year, all-time scorer, rebounder, is their coach. And 5 consecutive opening round games. No other team in the ACC has done that. They also have 3 1,000-point scorers. No other team in the ACC has that.
I didn't think anybody had more fun yesterday than Jen Hoover over there coaching her team. Didn't she have a blast? I mean, it was fun to watch her.
Yeah, it was like welcome back to the ACC tournament. Douglas has Wake's last 6 points, and she's cut this lead down to 3.
Boykin on Thomas.
Thomas still without a field goal, and we're almost halfway through this first half.
Again, this is good coaching. We've seen both coaches in the on-ball screen have the ball handler attack the hedge, and those are good calls. Those are fouls. You can't impede the dribbler.
Foul was on Hamby. That is her first. What a job they're doing on Thomas. Hamby got a hand on it. Last touch by Douglas. It'll belong to Maryland.
See, Jen Hoover mixing it up. They've switched on the on-ball with Thomas. This time they go to trap. It's a good adjustment. You've got to keep it unbalanced and unpredictable against the player like Alyssa Thomas, and they almost got a turnover for it.
Some issue with the shot clock. Now set at 16 seconds.
Jen Hoover told me it was a long night of film last night, and she looked a little weary, but she's
isn't
ready.
That, if you're a coach, that's what March is all about. You get to scout live the teams that you're going to play. You spend all night in the film room coming up with a game plan.
You come here with 4 suits. If you're Brenda Freeze, you come with 3. And then you play to the end. And you know you're not going to sleep, you're not going to eat, but you're going to have the time of your life if you win.
Vaughn is fouled. That's going to be on Hamby, and that's her second. And I think Michaela Walker is going to come back in for Dearica Hamby, who has not scored. She had 17 points last night, Hamby did.
Yeah, she's their length and their athleticism on the boards to match up with Maryland.
Thomas, that's her first field goal.
With her offhand. She is a left-handed basketball player, but scores with her right quite frequently because she's worked on it.
She was the tournament MVP last year. Maryland's the defending champs of this tournament. Boykin trying to answer and does. First 3 for Lakivia Boykin. She's number 3 in the league in three-point percentage. Havlik back in the game now for Maryland. That's going to be a foul on Chelsea Douglas, her first.
And a good call. It's a reach-in. Watch this. That's a foul.
That's a tough assignment. Douglas on Thomas.
Any assignment on Thomas is tough, Mike. Now they invert her to the block. Back-to-back. Brenda Freeze gets her on the block. Good move.
2 consecutive field goals now for Thomas, who was shut out in the first 10 minutes. That's the thing I like about Thomas. She lets the games come to her. Douglas loses the handle.
And that's a great point, Mike, because she's had to learn how to find shots for others. She hasn't always been the playmaker that she's become this year. She was forced into this role because of the injury situation, and she has taken advantage of it. Look at that post up, 2 feet in the paint, 2 points for Maryland.
She really can play positions 1 through 5. Nothing she can't do. Pavlik again. Oh, what a half she's having. 3 threes for Chloe Pavlik, the freshman from Cincinnati. My goodness. That's Devon.
Look at them tangled up, Devon and Walker.
Freeze calls Devon the best defensive player. Thomas again short. Asia Williams. Boykin's got to run out.
Maryland's quick shooting can't lead to transition for Wake. And that's what that play was right there.
9 now for Lakivia Boykin.
I think Brenda Freeze, I see her over there calling for some motion. She wants them to make some plays by moving the basketball.
A lot of contact, and again, another breakout for Boykin. Pavlik can't catch up. Douglas is fouled. Chelsea Douglas will be going to the free throw line for 2, but Chloe Pavlik, 11 points already in the first half. 3 threes for Maryland.
Hardee's biscuits are born from scratch each morning. And minutes later, die a delicious death. The new pork chop and gravy biscuit, made from scratch every morning, only at Hardee's.
A vacation in South Walton isn't about what you take. It's what you take away and return to year after year. All the special times, the perfect moments, unforgettable places, and all the things you did that you never do anywhere else. Come find your perfect beach.
The 36th annual ACC Women's Basketball Tournament is brought to you in part by Hardee's Pork Chop and Gravy Biscuit. For Maryland, a freshman who was thrust into a starting spot early in the season because of injury has had maybe her best half of the season. Chloe Pavlik, who has already tied her career high with threes. She had 3 threes back on January 10th in a game against Miami. Also had her career high 20 points in that game, but 11 first half points, Debbie.
Well, Maryland doing a great job of moving the basketball, and she's been open now to contested 3. Only 3 times this season she's been in double figures, and this would make it her 4th this season. Maryland has 12 baskets, 10 of which are assisted, which is higher than their 65% assisted basket ratio on the season.
Douglas hits them both. It's a 3-point game. Douglas now with 14 first half points. Maryland's red hot. They've hit 7 of their last 11 shots.
And that's where Thomas has gotten so much better. Not only does she draw the trap, but she stretches the play and then makes a great pass. You got to extend that trap sometimes, Mike. A little escape dribble, pull it back a little.
She's gotten everybody involved, that's for sure. Held ball, arrow to Wake Forest.
Check out Alyssa Thomas playing in the on-ball screen. Okay, here's the screen. She's going to come off this and watch the double team by Wake Forest. They're going to try to get a trap, and then she's going to roll to the basket and be wide open. She stretches it just enough to give a lane to Devon to get inside and finish. It's a great play.
Melissa Calicott now into the Wake Forest lineup. Garcia for three. Not really her shot. Garcia's only hit 3 threes all year. Douglas against Thomas. About 5'4" against 6'2". 8 to shoot for the Deacs. And Douglas will take it and hit it. Well, you talk about Pavlik's half. What about Douglas with 17 points?
Mike, Chelsea Douglas, go ahead and shoot till your arm falls off. We can take it home and put some ice on it later.
She had 17 in the first game against Maryland. In Winston-Salem, Maryland won by 10. They won by 27 this past Sunday against the Deacs. Trying to make it 3 in a row, but Wake showed up here to play. You see Melina Howard coming back in for Maryland. Wake made it to the semifinals last year. They are the 10 seed. Offensive foul. It's going to be on the Walker. 2 fouls down. Michaela Walker, the senior from Duluth, Georgia.
Well, remember, this Wake Forest team lost by 21 in College Park just a week ago. They don't look like it tonight.
Travel called. Well, Chelsea Douglas has scored Wake Forest's last 10 points. As Debbie says, she showed up with some slack.
You got to get some help, though.
Douglas, 7 to shoot. Here's Walker. Michaela Walker has struggled in 2 games against Maryland, just 1 for 6. Her first points tonight.
You want to knock off the top 10 team in the country, you got to bring all those extra plays, broken plays.
The freshman Howard whistled for an offensive foul. Good job by Sandra Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia doing a great job position behind. Usually Wake likes to bring a double team. Not to Howard, though. And Garcia just plays her straight up and does a great job of selling it.
Sandra Garcia, who had a double-double last night against Georgia Tech. She's had double-doubles in 4 of the last 6 games. Has not scored here in this first half.
She can have an impact on the game without putting points on the board because she screens and she rebounds. And she posts up strong, and that occupies a defender, sometimes up 1.5 defenders.
Shot clock's at 6. Boykin off balance. And Alyssa Thomas strong with that rebound. For 3, got it. Deanna Hawkins. That's only her 7th three-pointer of the year.
But that play right there is why the WNBA loves her, because she's a big post who can rebound, run the floor, and knock down a trail 3. That's why her stock has gone way up.
Leads the ACC in scoring at 18.5 points a game. Also averages 9.4 rebounds, and as you saw, looked pretty good shooting from 3. Chelsea Douglas single-handedly has kept this game close. Walker again. Oh, Michaela Walker, the senior, and 1.
Another great play by Walker. And the quicks of Chelsea Douglas. Watch, you reject the screen. Try to drive hard. Don't get it. and Walker just slips. That's a great read by Walker because Devon was not in position. You got to be between your player and the basket and stay attached on that screen. She wasn't attached. It's a great read by Douglas.
I give Walker a lot of credit. Here's a player who midway through last year lost her starting job in a lot of minutes to De'Erica Hamby. But she's accepted this role and is a valuable part of the Wake Forest team.
This senior class for Wake Forest has been very successful.
Thomas in the paint.
She makes it look easy.
She does indeed. 5 years in a row, Wake Forest has won a game in this tournament. These seniors have a lot to be proud of. Long rebound, gives it back to the Deeks. Garcia setting a screen. Williams rejects it and gets fouled by Alyssa Thomas.
I love that play by Williams. Reject the screen, Mike. Drive it hard.
And you see Maryland on the break. They're up 3. We've got a good one here in Greensboro. This reminds me of the game we did at Duke. She had 24 points. Has that same look in her eye tonight.
Swagger. I refuse to lose. Doesn't like losing. You can tell it by the way she plays. And she brings everybody else with her. She's got toughness, Mike. That's a tough backcourt, those two kids right there, Boykin and Douglas.
Asia Williams to make it a 1-point game and does. 6.5 now for Asia Williams. Thomas at the elbow is fouled.
That is a tough play to defend. It's a flat sprint screen in the middle of the floor, and Thomas has a choice to go left or right and get the switch, and it gets her some space. It's not tight to the rim. You got a chance to make a look, to take a peek at what you want to do, and she can get to the paint and make shots.
Thomas is 3 for 3. That was the 3rd foul on Michaela Walker, and Hamby comes back into the lineup.
That's the first time we've seen that set out of Maryland in the first half. Off the timeout, too. I like it.
And in double figures once again, Alyssa Thomas now with 10.
And she didn't score in the first 10 minutes, right?
Exactly.
Look how quickly she can put points on the board.
It's her 24th straight game in double figures. The ACC Player of the Year. Up and under Hamby. And Devon's going to be whistled for the foul.
The foul has been charged to Maryland, number 13, Alicia Devon. The first.
De'Erica Hamby has not scored here in this first half after scoring 17 against Georgia Tech last night. Averages about 11 a game.
I'm almost wondering why Jen Hoover hasn't substituted Hamby offense and defense just to keep her from getting in foul trouble. She's already got 2.
Let's check in with Christy for a moment.
Yesterday, when Brenda Freeze was here scouting which team they were going to play, she said De'Erica Hamby reminded her of Laura Harper because of all of the things that she brings to the table. She's lanky, she's long, she can put her on the floor. And Laura Harper, senior year, she was hitting that high post shot.
Well, Laura Harper was a great one. Part of that national championship team in 2006.
That's Rutan's second 3. Here's Boykin for Wake Forest. Maryland, the number 3 field goal percentage team in the country, is red hot in this game, shooting 60% now.
That play right there personifies the transition game of Maryland. Rebound by Thomas, running downhill in the middle of the floor. You can't stop her. She's making plays on balance, and she hardly ever draws a charge.
Douglas can't hit it. Maryland's shooting lights out, but Wake is hanging tough. Largest Maryland lead this half has been 9. It's a Maryland team that averages 76 a game. Thomas, Rutan comes up with it.
Didn't hit the rim.
3 to shoot. Thomas gets the shot off. And Melina Howard loses the offensive board out of bounds. It'll go to Wake Forest.
Watch her running downhill. Crosses up Chelsea Douglas, drops it off for Rutan and gives her an easy layup. That's how you make others around you better.
Rutan, who averages 9 a game, has 8 here in the first half. You're right. Thomas gets everybody else involved, not just herself. It's one of the reasons she is Player of the Year in the league. That foul's going to be on Howard, and if it is, I think that's her third. It is. 3 fouls on the freshman, Melina Howard, and Brenda Free's not happy about it at all. Sequoia Austin is in. You know, that's the option that Freeze has. She can put Austin at 5'5" in the game for the 6'4" Howard, because Alyssa Thomas can move around and play anywhere.
That's a good point, but you lose some size. You know, you lose a true post player, and everybody needs to have a post presence in this game to be able to score in the paint, defend the rim.
Asia Williams been money from the line tonight, 4 for 4.
See, she couldn't put Hawkins in, Mike, because she's got 2.
Alyssa Thomas has another year to go. She has a good chance of being a 3-time Player of the Year. Final minute of the half, Maryland up 4. Tom Loney will be around in a moment to take you through the halftime. Hamby comes up with a steal. Got long arms. Douglas, what a half.
She can finish. What a terrific first half of basketball. She don't even look like she's got a sweat going.
And 19 points. There's a 5-second difference between the game clock and shot clock. Thomas over Garcia. Hamby. Well, those long arms are a factor. Here's Boykin. On Austin. Garcia, the offensive board. What a strong play by Sandra Garcia. You're so right, Debbie. She has not scored tonight, but Garcia can have an impact in so many other ways.
That's a great rebound in transition. I don't know why Boykin didn't use the glass on that shot, Mike.
Calicott in for Hamby.
Good move to get her out. You don't want to put her in a defensive possession right here where she could draw a third.
Right. Got 2 fouls. Garcia. That's her first point tonight. Makes it a 1-point game. Well, I give Wake a lot of credit. This Maryland team has played well. Rutan at the buzzer. And we go to the break with a
yet just a 1-point lead for the Terps against Wake Forest, trying to get to the semifinals. And for the action of the second 20 minutes, time for Mike and Debbie courtside.
Thank you, Tom. Well, what a game. Both teams shooting well. Alyssa Thomas comes right out and hits a shot. She was only 3 for 11 in the first half.
I bet Brenda Freeze said something like this at halftime. If we want to win a championship, let's play through Alyssa Thomas. Let's get her the basketball where she can make plays.
And Alicia Devon says, I might block a shot or 2. I bet she also said something about stopping number 5 in black, Chelsea Douglas, who had 19 points.
Besides the rebounding that Christy and Tom talked about at halftime, the turnovers have been terrific. Wake Forest has only turned it over 6 times in the first half.
Asia Williams, oh, what a nice move in the paint.
Yeah, I want Williams to attack Alyssa Thomas on the defensive end. That's one way to keep her from getting out on the break and scoring.
First layup won't go. Garcia down with it for Wake Forest. And an offensive foul on Williams for second.
Jen Hoover clearly doesn't get that one. I can see why she might be upset.
Again, Thomas getting a touch. And Thomas taking it right to the hole.
Foul has been charged to Maryland.
And she gets the offensive foul. That's her second.
Watch this hook.
Team foul number 1.
Oh, yeah. Karen Fredo was right there in front of it.
Good call.
Hamby, 2 long players, DeVaughn and Hamby.
Wake Forest running the flex.
Douglas, what a drive. This is the first time tonight that Wake Forest has led.
I haven't seen him run the flex in the first half either. Good adjustment by Jen Hoover.
And a travel called on Tiana Hawkins. The Deacs, who lost by 27 to this Maryland team on this past Sunday, now have the lead here in the second half. NC State had the lead on Duke earlier today in the second half. Came close to an upset. Williams, great drive. She's got 12. Debbie, this Wake Forest team looking pretty good right now. That's a big bucket from Hawkins. She's now got 9.
As a matter of fact, I think all her points have been face-up and an offensive rebound.
Wake up by a point. The Deacs are now shooting 50%, 18 for 36. Williams,
Stick
big
it.
time.
Big stick right there by Williams.
You know, she's only a 25% three-point shooter.
Yeah, but she's a senior, and in this environment, things happen.
It's tournament time. It's March. If you're a senior, you know the end is near. You lay it all out. It'll belong to Wake Forest. Let's check in a moment with Christy.
Well, I spoke with Jen Hoover about what went on in her locker room, but she said that she knew that Brenda Freeze was telling her team to dominate more on the boards, and they were looking for more aggression there, so they had to stand pat with that. But she also thought that Maryland may have been sending more people back in transition defense to cover their fast break, and that's why maybe they were close to being even on the boards, but they need to stay aggressive and keep pushing the tempo offensively, as you've seen here, to start the second half.
I think Jen Hoover's proven herself a pretty good strategy coach.
I mean, this is only her second year as a head coach. I think she's done a terrific job. 1 year at High Point, her second year as a head coach, and her first year at Wake.
Boykin. Boy, quick hands by Pavlik. Trying to get it to De'Erica Hamby. There's Jen Hoover. And again, the leading scorer and rebounder in Wake Forest history. And a legend this year.
Last time Wake was in the NCAA tournament, 1988. Jen Hoover was on that team. Jenny Mitchell at that time.
Douglas. Missed getting it to Garcia. In the paint, Thomas got the roll.
On balance, with power.
Much more efficient second half now for Alyssa Thomas. She's got 14 points. Kick out to Hamby. Williams wide open.
Boy, Wake doing a great job of spreading the floor.
She had all day to take that shot.
I'm waiting for Boykin to get going. I haven't seen Boykin do anything yet. I think this is about her time.
Hawkins. Offensive rebound, Thomas. Oh, she's strong. Now Boykin down with it. We'll see what number 22 can do. But it'll be Douglas with the shot. just +1 in rebounding. They are the #3 rebounding team in the country, averaging +15.
This is where your toughness comes in, Mike. We haven't had a stoppage of play now. You got to really dig deep. You got to get in the stance on the defensive end and rebound.
Thomas going up. She's fouled. She'll go to the line when we come back. There is a timeout. 14:51 to go. What a game we got here. Wait, the big underdog. They are up 4 here in the second half.
Welcome to the #1 for everyone sales event. I'm Jan.
Hi, we're here for another Camry. They're super dependable. Sort of hand them down. He's got the 04, he's got the 94.
And you got the 84, right?
No, Dad holds tight to the 84.
You guys ready?
Yeah. That's my guy.
Right now, lease a new 2013 Toyota Camry for only $199 a month. That's just $199 a month on a new Toyota Camry. Toyota, let's go places.
Hurry up! What is that? He's stupid! Dumber and dumber.
Yes, chef.
All of you! Get out! Get out! Get out!
Wait, what?
Seriously? Get out!
Hell's Kitchen is back, and there's something new on the menu. Wow. It's going to be the wildest season yet.
What's going? Have you got a drinking problem?
Hell's Kitchen, 2-hour premiere next week on Fox.
Braves baseball is back. As spring training gets into full swing, Atlanta showcases its power potential. But will the Braves bats heat up against Miami? Braves, Marlins, Wednesday at 7 on Fox Sports South. Online now at foxsportssouth.com. It's Braves spring training coverage. See what happens when we mic up Braves pitcher Chris Medlin.
Come on, honey. I'm kidding.
Stay connected to your Braves at foxsportssouth.com. Game 4 of the ACC Women's Basketball Tournament is next on Fox Sports South.
Wake Forest getting a career performance tonight out of Chelsea Douglas, 19 in the first half. Now Debbie, 21 on the game.
Well, she's been terrific. A combination of floaters, off her defense, decisions at a high rate of speed and transition, knocking down some triples. She got the whole skill set working, and she's the smallest player on the floor. But she's tough, and don't underestimate her at the end of the game.
And folks, let me tell you, right before we started the second half, Chelsea Douglas looked over at Debbie Antonelli and gave that smile. Like I brought it tonight.
Yeah, she knows I love offense, and I love great guard play. And you get to know these kids. We've covered the league and covered these teams all season, and Wake Forest and Maryland let you get to know their kids.
Yeah.
You know, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
There's De'Erica Hamby, who just picked up her 3rd foul. It's fun talking to Michaela Walker. She wants to get into the communications business and is going to get an internship through the ACC next year.
All those breakdowns all year that we did with players in the league, I thought it was really fun.
Well, I enjoyed all of them.
High IQ, great personalities. You get to find out something about these players. It's fun. It's fun to be a part of.
I told you this before. You did a great job on those. I really enjoyed those this year. Really did.
It's very kind. Thank you. It's a lot of fun. And a lot of help.
Boykin baseline. Doesn't get the roll. Look at Garcia battle for the rebound. It's Devon that comes out with it. Rutan for 3. Oh, my goodness. Walker's got it, but Alyssa Thomas flew out of bounds to try to save that. Douglas to Williams.
The right time to give it to her. A good point guard knows the 3 W's. Who to get it to, when, and where. Perfect delivery.
And Wake's largest lead now at 6. Asia Williams now got 19 points. Douglas with the steal. Would have counted. Foul's going to be on Rutan, and Chelsea Douglas will go to the free throw line.
I think Chelsea Douglas is saying, I don't think you can stop me. Watch this play. She's got Rutan on her hip. She leaves it off so Williams does not have to put it on the floor.
Chelsea Douglas 3 for 4 from the line tonight. Trying to add to the Deacon lead.
You know, there's another Chelsea in this league besides Chelsea Gray at Duke. This one right
Douglas,
here.
you're right. You know, Debbie, I think this was only natural for fans to think, okay, Maryland got them in Winston-Salem double digits. Really got them bad in College Park with 27 points. This might not be a game tonight. Oh, were they wrong?
Oh, yeah. I knew this would be a game because you got great guard play. You've had experience and shaking the rust off last night. You had 5 players in double figures. If you could stay with Maryland on the glass, and you can keep them in front, make them execute, you got a chance.
Still just +1 for Maryland on the glass, and on the held ball, the arrow to Wake.
There was a time in the second half yesterday in the Georgia Tech game, and I thought Wake Forest looked tired. And then they got their second win, and when they did, they were fast.
Douglas has been almost unstoppable tonight. So has Williams. Senior on the drive, she's fouled. Devon with the foul. It's her second, and Asia Williams, the senior from Durham, who already has 19 points, going to the line. Her season high is 20. That was a game at Georgia Tech. About to get it right here. Williams, a 61% free throw shooter. 4 for 5 tonight. Missed them both. Hawkins, that was her 7th rebound. Look at Alyssa Thomas get that offensive board and one. You're behind. You're the second half. You're the ACC tournament. Alyssa Thomas says, okay, time for me to go to work.
Are you kidding me?
That was an unbelievable play.
I mean, this is great execution right here. Hawkins gets the ball where she wants, over her left shoulder, and Thomas comes from the other side of the lane to offensive rebound to get fouled.
That is the 4th foul on Michaela Walker. 3-point play by Alyssa Thomas. She's got 17, and the Wake lead is now 4. Williams playing with so much confidence. She got the timeout as she fell down. Good move by Asia Williams. Timeout. Deacon. Both of their meetings in the regular season will be interesting to see what happens tonight.
You know, Maryland got the 2 seed over North Carolina. They both were 14-4 in ACC play on a coin flip.
Look at Hamby fight for that loose ball. Well, the seeding would have them meeting tomorrow, but Wake Forest and Boston College have different ideas.
You know, Maryland and North Carolina split during the regular season.
Thomas talked about the one weakness she has is that outside shot. Feed into Garcia, and she's going to be fouled by Rutan. Garcia will go to the line. She has not given Wake a lot of offense tonight. See what she do from the line in just a moment. Deeks are up 4.
There's something different about ACC student athletes. They excel both athletically and academically. Their success on the field carries on into their chosen field. They are leaders. The official corporate champions of the Atlantic Coast Conference are proud to support these young men and women as they carry on the ACC's tradition of excellence, then, now, and always.
Is saving money better than not saving money?
Yeah!
Okay, if you save enough money, what would you do with it?
I would buy an island made out of candy.
An island made out of candy?
It would be like sand full of sugar.
Sand full of sugar?
The water can be made out of like soda. When you take a shower, it can be made out of like hot fudge.
Ooh.
What about the animals? What would they be made out of?
I'm assuming they'd be made out of candy.
It's not complicated. Saving is better. Switch to AT&T, and your family can save up to $100 a month with Mobile Share.
The 36th annual ACC Women's Basketball Tournament is brought to you in part by Hardee's Pork Chop and Gravy Biscuit. Do we have an upset brewing here tonight? Wake up 4. Let's go inside the Maryland huddle and listen to Brenda Freeze.
Like, be alert. Be alert with what you're doing on the out-of-bounds lane. Keep communicating. Get up in them. If 5 gets a catch, get up in them. Great ball pressure. Get a stop. Count on your defense.
Brenda Freeze, we talked about Jen Hoover with strategy. Brenda Freeze, who is the ACC Coach of the Year for the first time, and well-deserved.
As good as her offense is, she's talking all defense over there.
Williams. Devon did a great job defensively there to get the stop. And here comes Thomas. Garcia, good job getting a hand on it.
That's a terrific challenge by Sandra Garcia. Thomas usually finishes that play or gets to the line.
Debbie Garcia's only got 1 point, but she has made an impact and a difference for Wake Forest.
Well, we knew she would. She's got 7 boards and an assist. She's got a block. She posts hard every time. She runs the floor hard. Those things don't show up on the stat sheet.
Douglas wanted a foul and get it. Here's Hawkins. Deanna Hawkins, leading scorer in the league, now with 11.
There's no other player like Alyssa Thomas at 6'2" that can rebound and can convert to offense that quickly. There just isn't anybody like it.
Deeks turn it over again. Maryland could tie right here. And Garcia down with her 8th rebound.
The foul will be charged to Maryland. And number 25, Alyssa Thomas.
Fouls on Thomas.
See foul number 5.
Debbie, that's the 3rd foul on Thomas. 10:41 to go. You leave her in?
No, I think you got to sit her for a minute. I might think about sitting her just to make sure she's clear about, especially on a defensive possession. I'd give the ball to Boykin right here and let her go on Thomas. Absolutely.
Drives right by her. Not a lot Thomas could do about it.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried about defensive possessions with Thomas on the floor.
Havlick turns it over. Wake's gone almost 4 minutes without a field goal. Till now.
I think Brenda Freeze needs to talk about it with her staff right here.
Brenda Freeze called a timeout.
This game. She's too talented. And they're going to leave Thomas in. And Thomas is guarding her. They're going to clear it out next time. Let's see what they do. Wake Forest does against Thomas defensively.
Hawkins going to work on Walker, who's playing with 4 fouls. Hawkins again, and 1. The foul's on Walker. Actually, it's going to be on Douglas. That's her 2nd.
The Maryland players are long. They're active on the glass. They can rebound out of their body. The ball doesn't have to be above their head for them to get it.
Devon, offensive rebound, put it back. At essentially a 4-point play for Maryland, and we are all tied at 59.
Some teams get their mojo from threes. Maryland gets it from offensive rebound. That's back-to-back plays on the offensive glass.
Maryland now taking an advantage on the boards. Douglas hasn't answered. Maryland now +6 rebounding. Chelsea Douglas has just tied her career high of 24. Those 24 came in a game at Duke.
Great seal.
And Devon could not get the bucket. She'll go to the line.
And another set for Maryland. 4 out, 1 in. They let Devon go one-on-one, knowing that there's an opportunity to put pressure on the Wake Forest front line. That's Hamby's third.
Actually, that foul is on Douglas, and that's her third. 5, not 25.
Trying to help on the pass. My fault on that one, Mike.
We'll give you 1 or 2. Not too many, but 1 or 2 we give
right.
it.
Yep.
Garcia for Wake Forest. Nathan Turner.
And Alyssa Thomas is going to go to the bench now with this game tied at 61. We got the media timeout coming up. 8 minutes, so she'll get some good rest here.
Yeah, use a little immediate timeout. Get her some hydration, too. She's been a player that has cramped in her career here.
Asia Williams. Williams has had a great game, but as we said, she's not a great three-point shooter at only 25% on the year.
Let's see what Wake Forest will do defensively without Thomas on the floor. She's so hard to trap. I might go back to trying to trap Chloe Pavlik.
Deeks now will try to break this tie. It was a one-point game at halftime. Douglas wide open.
That's a mean screen by Garcia. Take the defender out.
Career night for Chelsea Douglas, the junior from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Here's Pavlik. Inside Hawkins. Hamby got a hand on it again, and now she comes up with it. But not a great pass as they were trying to attack. It will be Maryland's ball.
Every possession matters. Every one.
Boy, Hamby's got those long arms, got in their hands, deflected a lot of balls.
Well, that's a great rebound by Howard. She came from the weak side wing. Got inside position.
Williams picking up the foul. She's got 3.
That is her third. Team foul number 8.
And Melina Howard with 2 points tonight will go to the free throw line. She is not a great free throw shooter at only 57%. On the long rebound, it's Hawkins. Hawkins goes by Garcia. And she traveled. 14th turnover of the night for Maryland. A great ball fake by Williams. Douglas open.
That's the reject the screen play that Wake Forest gets open on every time. Drive hard baseline after you reject the screen. That's terrific execution.
Second 3 for Douglas. She's got 29 points. What a night. Howard lost the handle. Hamby up with it. Deeks with the ball and a 5-point lead. 7:20 to go.
They go to their horns. And see, look, she got a one-on-one. She's cleared out.
Hamby is fouled by Pavlik. These Wake Forest seniors do not want their season to end. They're up on top of Maryland right now by 5.
Gross coming up next. Those players don't get on the stat sheet, but they get on mine for being on the all-screen team.
And they make a difference.
You know, the captain of the all-screen team last year was Sasha Goodlett. She made it 3 years in a row, Mike, but that's because she campaigned hard for it.
And some other people lobby, too.
Well, They got to work hard. They got to work hard. They don't recognize him.
Boykins start to heat up. There's Thomas.
Wow. There, she can cover some ground from one side of the lane to the other, and you just can't guard it.
19 for Alyssa Thomas. But the Deeks are up 5 here. 6:30 to play. Story's been Chelsea Douglas. 7 to shoot. Williams. They've done a good job on Williams last couple of minutes. Thomas, good pass to Rutan for 2.
And avoids the charge. Chelsea Douglas is setting up to take one for the team, and she can maneuver around it because she plays with such control at a fast pace. I don't know any other player in women's college basketball that does that.
Katie Rutan, the transfer from Xavier, now in double figures.
And they run a little flex cut screen for Hamby.
And she leaves it short. Devon the rebound. Foul's going to be on Williams. And with 5:40 to go, that is her 4th foul.
Yeah, and that was a fatigue foul by Asia Williams. You can't commit that foul right there. You got to move your feet.
Thomas at the line, 1-and-1.
I like the Wake Forest flex screening action on the baseline. I think they've been able to get some open opportunities. Now, Hamby just has to finish that last play.
First miss from the line for Alyssa Thomas, who has 20 points. We're getting down to it here. Deeks up 2 with the ball.
Good defense by Katie Rutan. Stay in a stance, Katie.
And what a job. Rutan blocks it. Thomas all alone.
What a terrific play by Katie Rutan.
Jen Hoover's going to have to take a timeout.
She's not just a three-point shooter, Hog.
It is a 7-0 Maryland run. Tied now at 68. 5:15 to go. And Katie Rutan just made a tremendous defensive play. Maryland's last lead was 46-45 at the 1921 mark.
Look at Alyssa Thomas in the middle of the floor where she has options for herself and others. She looks like she's playing downhill, Hog, because when she gets a full head of steam, you can't keep her in front. You're not going to draw a charge on that, but she's not going to let you anyway. She plays with control and balance. And I don't know another 6'2" player that handles the ball, that rebounds and scores like she does in the entire country. There's not another.
And Debbie, she's got another double-double. 22 points, 11 rebounds. It is her 18th double-double of the season. That's the best in the league.
I mean, she's one of the top 10 players in the country. There's no doubt about it. She was that last year. She'll be on the State Farm All-American team this year once again. You see Thomas, Hawkins, and Devon, that's a pretty strong front line. If you want to put Alyssa on the front line, you can put her in the backcourt also.
And as I just said, those 18 are number 1 in the league.
There's great players around the country in the ACC. Around the country, not just in the ACC. You're talking about Brittany Griner and Skylar Diggins, Elena Deladon, but they're all different and unique.
Well, our referee Eric Bruton is headed over to the scorers table. Joe Cunningham, Karen Prado, our other officials here tonight. Not sure exactly what this is about. Checking for a possible elbow, Debbie.
Well, it's a chance to go to the monitor and look, because you got to check if there was contact above the shoulders before you get to the next live ball. Was that Chelsea Douglas?
That was Douglas and Katie Rutan, yes. And Alyssa Thomas on the breakout. All tied at 68. Debbie, this has been a very physical game, it seems to me, and I think Wake Forest has held their own.
I think they've been great on the glass. That's where the physicality is played out. No, I just think they got their arms tangled up. I don't believe there's any contact above the shoulders there. Just a basketball play.
Douglas has had the best night of her career as a scorer, 29. And she's been efficient, 11 of 17. I think you're going to look at it yet again. And we will too. And it did look like to me she was just pushing her away.
Yeah, they just got their arms tangled up. I don't think there's anything there, but just a little contact in the open floor.
And I think the officials have ruled that it was not an elbow, just as we saw it there. So it'll be Wake's ball, all tied.
Good job by the officials. Did it right.
We gave everybody a chance to grab a breath, too. These players have gone at it hard tonight. Rutan on Douglas. Williams. Seven to shoot. Garcia and Howard really working. Garcia the turnaround, and she's fouled by Melina Howard. That's going to be the fourth foul on Howard.
There were 2 seconds on the shot clock.
And Garcia, who only has 1 point tonight, will go to the line. Garcia again, double-doubles in 4 of her last 6 games. Big free throw. All of them are big now when you're under 5 minutes. Hawkins back in for Maryland. Got the roll and a 2-point lead for the Bigs. Garcia 3 for 4 from the line. Those are her only points.
Here comes that flat sprint screen.
Thomas
turned it over.
Douglas to Boykin. Haven't heard from Lakivia in a while. What a great game. Here's Boykin for 3. Garcia, another rebound.
Well, Wake Forest has really shared the ball tonight, too.
Garcia 9 rebounds now. And sent a monster screen for Boykin. 8 on the shot clock. Williams. She traveled.
Good defense again by Maryland. That's how they've been able to get back in it, Mike. They've played good defense. They've gotten the stops they needed.
Can Wake Forest upset Maryland and make it back?
Yesterday, and she talked about the aura of Greensboro and how it's affecting her seniors. Well, they're trying to close in on an upset win, Mike, but Maryland does have the 2-time player in the conference, Alyssa Thomas.
And a big possession here, Tom. Inside Hawkins. Held ball. The arrow is to Maryland. Wake Forest has lost 14 straight for these Terrapins. You look at the overall series, 55-12 Maryland leads, including 2 this year that went to the Terps.
Well, remember we had the game with Wake Forest up at Charlottesville. They hadn't won since 1978 up there, and Jen Hoover pulled out the victory in overtime.
Had a couple of overtime wins. They went double overtime with Boston College on the road.
Every rebound.
Thomas. You can see these seniors for Wake have really risen up tonight. Rutan for 3, and that gives Maryland the lead.
That's her 3rd triple of the game.
You know, this is a Maryland team that's really shot lights out. They are 7 for 11 from behind the arc.
They're shooting 48% in the game right now, Mike, and that is third in the nation. There's only two other teams that shoot it better, Baylor and Connecticut.
That's high company.
Yes, it is.
Wake hadn't had a field goal in over 4 minutes. Garcia puts it back. First field goal of the night for Sandra Garcia, and it comes with 2:44 to play.
What great effort. Resilient. She hasn't scored, but she's impacted the game until now. Now she's going to the free throw line. Her screening, her rebounding, her run on the floor, her ability to post up hard every time.
Got the three-point play. By the way, that was her 10th rebound of the night. Maryland knows they're in a battle now these final 2.5 minutes. They've been here before. You heard at the beginning of the broadcast. What did Brenda Freese talk about? Resiliency. 4 to shoot. Howard's going to take it. Oh, my goodness.
What confidence by Alyssa Thomas to give it up to Howard at the top of the key.
It's her 7th three-pointer of the year.
Wow, that's a big play.
Terps up 1. Under 2 to play. Williams, DeHamby has the ball stripped. Douglas got it. 6 to shoot for Wake. Douglas going to have to put it up.
Oh, what a rebound.
Boy, what effort we're seeing on the part of both of these teams. Laying it all out here in the ACC tournament.
Good defense of the flare screen off the Horn series.
Here's the crossover from Boykin off the glass. Oh, what a great move to the bucket by Lakivia Boykin. Last night's Virginia game.
Another double-figure rebounding effort by Garcia.
Thomas, you want the ball in her hands.
There's no one else strong enough to get that ball up on the rim. That's just an incredible play with contact, and it almost goes in.
Fouls on Hamby, her 4th.
Wake Forest knows she's getting the ball. Everybody in the building knows she's getting the ball, and you still can't keep it out of her hands.
Thomas 6 for 7 from the line. Now 23 points. Clutch free throws from Alyssa Thomas. Maryland up 1. Under a minute to play. The crowd comes to its feet here in the Greensboro Coliseum. Boykin. Step back, got it. Lakivia Boykin has scored 4 straight for Wake Forest.
I'm telling you, the kid can score.
Thomas. For 3. Pavlik got it. What a clutch shot by the freshman. That is her 4th 3, a career high tonight for Chloe Pavlik. Deeks down 1, no timeout. 2-second differential, game clock and shot clock. Boykin passed up the shot. Under 10 to shoot. Now it's Douglas against Devon. Scoops it up, can't hit it. Great move by Douglas. Just didn't hit it with 5 seconds left. And the foul is on, I believe it's on Maryland. Foul is on Thomas.
We're going to say that Alyssa Thomas pulled Sandra Garcia down.
Boy, Garcia with the free throws of her life here. She is 4 for 5 from the line tonight. And Maryland's going to try to make her think about it a little bit. They call timeout.
Watch Thomas in the middle of the floor with Garcia. Wake Forest has a new life.
What a game.
Here you got to go hard to the rim, Mike. Boykin or Douglas, both of them capable of getting to the paint on Maryland's defense. The last time Wake Forest beat a top 10 team was last year here in the ACC tournament when they beat Miami. It was number 7 in the country at that time. Boy, Wake Forest comes to the tournament ready to play.
And Wake is in the bonus now, so a 1-and-1 for Garcia. Again, 4 for 5. Gets the bonus. This would tie it. What pressure shots by the senior. Brenda Freeze is going to call a timeout to draw up a play.
What a great job by Garcia, knocking down a couple of free throws. I think you got to inbound the basketball to Alyssa Thomas. And Wake Forest got to have some token pressure. You can't gamble. You got to keep them in front. You got to be able to rebound. Let's see if Alyssa Thomas actually will inbound the basketball and get it back.
Brenda Freeze drawing up the play. Wake Forest has won a couple overtimes this year. Double overtime against BC. Overtime at Virginia.
Maryland's got a couple of players down here to stretch the Wake Forest defense. You want to open up the court. You want to make sure the floor is open so you got a chance to move. Thomas is inbounding it.
Here we go. Final 5 seconds. Pavlik to Rutan. She's a shooter. She'll take it at the buzzer. Doesn't go. We are going to overtime. It's going to have to wait a little while. This is a great game here, tied at 79.
Get an extra 5 minutes. I'll take it.
Yes, we will. Maryland has not played an overtime game this year. Wake is 2-1. And that's a travel. And Thomas.
She does lose her balance.
Maryland's 14-2 in overtime games under Brenda Freeze. One of those was in the national championship game against Duke.
2006 in Boston. Remember it well.
That was a great day for the ACC and a great day for Maryland.
Freshman point guard named Christy Tolliver on that one.
4 to shoot. Boykin's going to have to put it up. Good defense by the Terps to get the stop. And now it's Alyssa Thomas running the show for Maryland. Thomas. The kick out to Rutan. She's wide open. Had a good look at it. Hawkins gets the rebound, and the Terps will have another chance. What a crossover. What a crossover move by Thomas, taking it to the bucket.
The countless number of hours she has spent by herself in the gym working on that move to be able to perfect it in overtime in the ACC tournament.
26 points. Saw Devon block it. Rutan down with it. Here comes Thomas. Numbers. And one. That's Hawkins. And Hamby may have just fouled out.
Split the help. Garcia not attached on the screen, and then nice assist in the open floor to Hawkins. Gotta be fun playing with a player like Alyssa Thomas. What you think, Mike?
She makes everybody better, that's for sure. Jen Hoover's called timeout as Hamby's fouled out. Walker's going to come in, Michaela Walker. But a little spurt here by Maryland made this awfully dangerous.
Well, the backcourt for Wake Forest, as we've talked about great guard play, Douglas and Boykin have combined for 46 of the Wake Forest 79.
Debbie, I got big news. That was her 10th assist. So Thomas now has a triple-double. 26 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. That is the first triple-double in ACC tournament history. My goodness. What a night.
What a night is right. And that would be her second this season. She had one earlier against George Mason.
You don't say triple-double lightly.
No,
that is
don't.
really, I mean, that is an amazing accomplishment.
Big time.
You see why she's the ACC Player of the Year. Garcia can't hit it. And Williams, that foul's on her. That's her fifth. Well, it's coming apart a bit for Wake Forest right now, and Maryland is asserting itself thanks to Alyssa Thomas.
Look at the emotion play out on Asia Williams' face. A senior.
May have played her last basketball for Wake Forest.
You know, the theme here this week has been seniors. Last night, it was the seniors. It's been the seniors today also.
You know, when you look at these seniors for Wake Forest, Michaela Walker, Sandra Garcia, Lakevia Boykin, Asia Williams, who we just saw, and that's her on the bench. They have a lot to be proud of at Wake Forest.
They sure do. They have. Mike Peterson did a terrific job handing over the reins to Jen Hoover, and she has taken it to another level, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do when you leave a place or when you take over a place.
7-0 run here in the overtime for Maryland. This is the Terps' largest lead in the second half, or since halftime.
Look at Rutan. Boy, she has D'd up Douglas late.
Calicut. Still belong to Wake. Maryland is playing great defense. Only 1 second on the shot clock. That did not hit the rim. Jen Hoover. Boy, she's done a great job with these defense. Came into this game tonight 13 and 18. We're 5 and 12 in ACC play. Won a first-round game for the 5th year in a row, and they took Maryland to overtime. Still time, but it's going to be tough. 6 to shoot for the Terps. Thomas, here's that crossover again. Draws the foul.
Relentless and resilient all game. She just wears you down with her strength in the paint.
And Michaela Walker now becomes the 3rd Wake Forest player to foul out.
You got to battle a front line that's one of the top rebounding front lines in the nation. Then you got to contend with the most powerful player in the country in the open court, and Alyssa Thomas.
Lindsey Wright will come in.
It's tough, Mike. It's hard. And Wake Forest did a terrific job managing the game to get it to a point to overtime.
So you know what? A triple-double by the best player in the league, Alyssa Thomas. Was the difference, as it has been in many games for Maryland.
I'm telling you, Jen Hoover did a fantastic job in Greensboro with her team.
29 points. That equals Chelsea Douglas. Douglas with 29 for Wake. Thomas with 29 for Maryland.
The way Douglas and Boy can shoot the 3 now, they're not out of it.
But look at Rutan play defense.
Katie Rutan. Brenda Free says she's her best perimeter defender. Well, Chelsea Douglas had 19 points at the half, and Rutan's been on her in the second half.
done a good job.
She has.
That crossover is unstoppable.
Hang in the paint. Just switch over to the right just because you can.
Folks, if you watch this game, you have seen something special tonight from Alyssa Thomas. 31 points. It is a career high for Thomas. 12 rebounds, 10 assists, a triple-double.
And she had 10 points and 5 rebounds at the half. 5 assists. She had her 10, 5, and 5 at the break. Impressive.
Well, certainly she is one of the great players in the history of this league. Douglas hits the free throw, 103 left. She's got 30. A career night tonight for Chelsea Douglas. 31. Brenda Fries is going to call timeout now with 103 left. This is an 8-point game moment. BC's got a point guard that really came to play last night. Tessa Holt.
She's the key. If Holt for Boston College can take care of the basketball and distribute it to all those shooters.
Wright's going to foul and put Devon on the line. She is one of the best free throw shooters on the court right now for Maryland, 70%. Devon 2 for 3 from the line.
Well, that gives Wake Forest some life.
One of 2. Maryland has scored 90.
Good defense.
Boykin with the foul.
You know what? Maryland has gotten the stops they needed. You know I love offense, and we've seen a lot of offense out of Maryland tonight. They shot the ball well. They rebounded. They took care of it. Got it to the right people, but they have made the stops. And Katie Rutan, it won't go down in the stat sheet for those kind of stops, but I bet Brenda Fries graded it out pretty high.
This is Maryland's ACC high, Debbie. Their season high, they scored 94 against American. But this is 90 against Wake Forest.
Well, the tempo was so fast to start the game. It was great. It was the way the game should be played. Open floor, making plays. Both teams shot it well.
Douglas, Wake has got to hurry. Garcia lost it out of bounds. You know, this is going to be a heartbreaking night for these Wake Forest seniors, should this score hold. But they should hold their heads high. It took a record-setting performance by Alyssa Thomas to beat them tonight.
She's worth the price of admission. There's no question about it. And her brother would love to duplicate what she's done. Her brother Devin Thomas is a freshman at Wake Forest on the guys' side.
32 now for Thomas. That's the 4th best single point performance in tournament history. Wake's not going to foul now and concede it to Maryland. And again, the seniors, you know, are going to be emotional. They played their last game in a Wake Forest uniform. But Debbie, what a last game it was.
Yes. They do have a lot to be proud of. What a great effort. What a terrific basketball game. Well played, well coached, well executed.
92-81.